Welcome back to another podcast of Just Trying to Figure It Out podcast. We are sponsored by Lives of Imprisoned Families Matter, which helps inmates and people that are incarcerated get phone calls and or transportation. Today I'm coming to you to talk about what's going on in the United Nations. I have said these things before on another podcast where America and African Americans, if they ever want reparations or any type of justice with slavery and the slave trade within our history, you would have to go to the United Nations. But you have to go to the United Nations under a flag. You have to go to a United Nations with a flag. But despite all that, this is a gracious day. African American people and African people, Black people, should be in the middle of the street right now, trying to find any and every way for us to push forward for reparations and justice for our ancestors and ourselves. Every African American lawyer, every African American judge should be trying to find the legal ways for us to get justification for the slavery and the mistreatment of African people. We don't understand the significance of what has just happened. Most times when the United Union or the United Nations or whatever votes on those type of injustices, next comes the way to repair and to recompensate the people they've done wrong. They've done it with the Indians, which they are Black, which we could have failed under that rule or under that vote as well. When they voted on the Jews, they did the same thing with them. What we're not understanding is this is a perfect opportunity for us to stand as one to try to get things that we deserve as a people. We understand the severity of the slave trade. If you understand it, you will know that the same route that they took to bring the slaves to the Caribbean and into the Americans still is traveled by sharks, crabs, and other sea creatures for food. They look for that travel route as a source of food, as a food source. They know if they travel that route, that food will be bound to be found. Another thing, they used to use our toddlers as bait for alligators because alligator skins and products were very profitable. So they would use babies to attract crocodiles to kill them for their skins. Also, women, the first utensils that were used in gynecology's offices were used on Black women. Trial and error from the tools and the utensils that you utilize for women's health were experimented on Black women first. They had whole islands full of what they call buck breaking, where they sexually assaulted and brutally chastised and ripped apart strong Black men or people that they considered to be difficult. Charles Drew invented a blood treatment for people with losses of blood that was used all through the military. It revolutionized the way people lived and survived during times of mass blood loss. When he invented the blood transfusion, he invented it for everyone, and it revolutionized the war. He died because they would not allow him to use the treatment that he invented. Lattimore, a great inventor, died broke. He invented most of the things we utilize today. His inventions were stolen and he died broke. A man that held over 50 patents in the United States that we still use his patents today, died broke. How is that possible, you say? How is this possible, you say? It's other things that came about that America noticed about African American people. I think I've told this story before. During the civil rights movement and the marches, they were black business owners that supported the marches and supported the guys and the people that were getting arrested. These businesses help bond people out and help to raise money for lawyers and to organize marches for the civil rights movement. At one point in time, they had arrested all the men, every last one of them. Martin Luther King, brother, all the people that was with him, all his friends, no men around. The businesses that were trying to support Martin Luther King and the civil rights movement were ready to pull out of the whole movement. They said it wasn't working. We're not making any progress. We're about to pull out. They had one last idea. The idea that they had was this: we will send our women and our children to march on the behalf of our people. And we know that they will do the same thing they did to our men, to our women and children. But this is the different thing that we're going to do here. We're going to broadcast this. We're going to get cameras. We're going to take pictures. We're going to broadcast this to the world, because you sicking dogs, beating women and children with batons and spraying people with high pressure water hoses looks different when it's with children and women. So when they marched this day, it was all women and children, and the world got to see the brutality that they used against African American people. This is what helped push start and jumpstart the civil rights movement, not the marches. People will want you to believe that the marches was the reason why we overcame and started to progress in the civil rights movement. No, it was because of that day. It was because of those photos. It was because of those videos of African American women and children being bit and beaten with batons and sprayed with water hoses that the world had to say the humanity in it. And we forget this. We forget this, and we forgot the plan that we made. We invented the plan to put our women and children on the forefront to prove to the world that they were mistreating us. And we forgot the plan. But our enemies did not forget how sufficient the plan that we had was. They did not forget how sufficient the plan of putting our women and children in the forefront was. So what they did, they said, you know what? We're never going to let it be able to let African American people's children and women be shown on TV being brutalized and people care about it. If they ever get shown on TV being brutalized and mistreated, everybody else in the world would say they deserve it. That's what they did. They made it to the point where they said, if we ever come up with a plan that sufficient and device, that they will make sure that the next time African American women and children be seen being brutalized on national TV or across the world, that nobody would care by the time they see it. In the wake of them voting for us being the biggest crime against humanity, we have to be in a point of offense. We have just gained a major touchdown. We have to find out a way. Lawyers, judges all across the world, African American and Africans alike, every Caribbean African judge and lawyer needs to be coming together to figure out how we are going to settle this. We have voted. We have found out that, yes, what everyone else in the world knows, that it was the biggest injustice that the world has ever seen. Every continent has prospered from the African continent by either manual labor through slavery or colonization or taking and stripping Africa of their resources. But like I said, when that civil rights movement made that point of bringing our women and children to the forefront for the world to see, that made our enemies understand that the next time they put their women and children out the forefront, we don't have to be gentle with them. We can brutalize them like anyone else, because by the time we finish with women and children's image in the Black community, nobody's going to care. I'm not going to make this video too long. I just wanted to bring this to the forefront, and everyone has to know and have to realize we have made a big scoring point. We have went to the United Nations. We have to be unified under one flag. Guyana, I'm not saying they're a great country. I'm not saying everything they're doing right, because I've heard that they've teamed up with America to have drones in their country, and they teamed up with a health program with America, which is ironic. The same people that voted against the greatest humanity tragedy against humanity didn't vote for it. Y'all are teaming up with the person that was the biggest got the most profit off of and benefited off of African American people, was voted against it. Even Germany, even Nazi Germany, voted for us being the most horrific tragedy in the world. And the people that were captive from them said it wasn't. So you have to think of these things and look at these things under a great big microscope. They did not forget the great plan that push started the civil rights movement. What they did was alter their strategy to make sure it won't work again. Like I said, this is Just Trying to Figure It Out podcast. We are sponsored by Lives of Imprisoned Families Matter. And we're just trying to help people. And I'm going to leave y'all with this. War. War is often confused when distress or physical conflict is approaching. But a true seasoned general knows the war has started soon as we disagree. Strategies have to be maintained. Strategies have to be altered. But war and strategy is just a way of life. Most battles won't be won. The goal is to achieve what the argument started over. Sometimes it doesn't matter the cost. If the justification is worth it. Thank you for joining us. We're just trying to figure it out podcast. We'll see y'all next time.